Hello everybody out there watching on YouTube, and welcome to race number 19 of Season 5 of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series. I'm Levi McIntyre, the voice of the NNSCRA Marvel Studios Cup Series, here to welcome you to the Quaker State 400 here at Kentucky Speedway as we're getting set for 40 laps of racing here at this repaved mile-and-a-half racetrack. Now, before we look at the starting lineup, as per, we got to take a look at the point standings as we're getting closer and closer to the chase for the championship. So after last week at Daytona, Joshua Collard's points lead shrunk a little bit. He leads now by only 8 points over Carson Gum. Third is Dylan Jacobs, fourth Paul Minnick, fifth Benjamin Miles, sixth is Sean Galligan, seventh is the winner from Daytona, Dylan Young, eighth Jake Rogers, ninth Dylan Poteet, and then 10th is Dougie Shears. As far as who are the big winners and losers in the points, the big winner was Chris Dollarton, who moved up from 22nd in points to 15th in points. And we had two big losers in the points. James Shelley and Rafael Leduc both fell 10 spots, respectively, from 12th and 16th, as both of those drivers fell pretty hard in the point standings. So time's starting to run out for some of those guys who are falling in a big way in the point standings to try and catch back up and get back into the championship hunt, or the chase hunt, I should say. But let's take a look at the starting lineup for the race today. Starting in the last row is Paul Minnick and Joshua Sekuli. Top 10, Kyle Matthews gets his first pole of the season. Starting next to him is a driver who's definitely going to need to start putting the pedal to the metal, and that's Tim Fiegel. Row 2 is Dylan Jacobs and James McLeod. Row 3, Dylan Young, the winner from Daytona last week, and Jonathan Zorline. Row 4, James Quall, Seth Cole. And then row 5, DJ Curtis and Jake Rogers. But let's go ahead and get the command to fire engines for the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky.
Drivers, start your engines!
All 40 drivers rolling on the racetrack for their one pace lap. So this race is going to be interesting, considering it's very rare that we ever go to this racetrack. And in the past, we've either seen the outside lane really dominate or a wreck fest were to occur. But after doing several tests in the past, I think we may have something special in store for you guys here today at Kentucky. Now, a lot of drivers could use this race as a golden opportunity to excel in the point standings in order to try and get themselves into chase contention. Considering several races coming up are going to be in road courses coming soon, and some of them going to be brand new for some drivers. Some are old school, but the pace car is pulled into pit road, so you know what time it is, don't you? It is time to boogity 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 go racing. Well, Dylan Jacobs led the first lap, so he gets that bonus point as Kyle Matthews is way up high 3 wide, and now Dylan Young has the race lead, but James Qualls, he's lurking in there, and so too are drivers like DJ Curtis and Cody Lamas on the bottom right there. But yeah, so far we're seeing some... Oh, there they go! I saw Rafael Leduc get turned! Hard multi-car crash that just occurred off of turn 4. Rafael Leduc involved again. Patrick Smith with damage. Jessica Sheldon with major damage. Oh, and they're wrecking again up here. Cullen Francis, Dylan Thoreau, among others involved. I was also going to say Ethan Hoffman got caught up. Seth Cole spun. A lot of calamity back there. And I'm not sure as to what happened. Even Dylan Young has damage. So we had a bunch of different things happen right there under caution. And as a result, James Qualls has taken over the race lead because of all that. But we're going to real quick take a look and see what brought the caution now for the first time today here at Kentucky. So here's a look at what happened. Up ahead, you see practically 5 wide up ahead of the 77 here, but they were able to hold it off. But it looks like right around here, oh, Joshua Collard went up into Patrick Smith, and that's what forced him up into Raphael LeDuc and Jessica Shelton. And both Smith and Shelton took some pretty good licks in there. And then there you see pretty big hit from Ethan Hoffman into Patrick Smith, and that's what started that incident back there. But look at Fitzwater and Poteet all the way through into the grass. I don't know why. Maybe they got forced down there. But let's see if either of those cars are going to start the second crash. No, they managed to get back up there just fine. Oh, the second crash already begins back here. Dylan Young sideways. He just scrapes the inside wall, but keeps it together. I'm trying to get to the source of the wreck. Let's go back to Dylan Young and see if we can get a good angle. Oh, 3 wide going wrong. It looked like Tim Fiegel just got sandwiched in between Dylan Young and Colin Phillips, and that's what got the second incident started. Young spins to the inside, but just scrapes the wall, but it was Phillips and Fiegel that got into it. And then you see Thoreau, Fitzwater, Yepez, Trent Dunham all get into it as a result of checking up. And then up here, contact between Charles Sanford and Seth Cole, that forces them both into the inside wall. So both of those cars were pretty heavily damaged. Oh, and Jake Rogers and Dougie Shears got into it. Jay Jefferson looked like he barely got into the 83, but no major damage. He'll still be able to continue properly, but crazy problems back here involving numerous cars that are going to be off the pace or even out of the race. But James Qualls luckily got through and is the race leader. So let's go ahead and take you to the restart here at Kentucky. I'm surprised there's no cars out of the race. Everybody's still on track, although you're probably going to see a lot of slow cars, which can really affect the racing we're going to have here today. But let's take a look at some of the field and see where they stand as a result of all that chaos. But James Qualls is your race leader. Second, DJ Curtis. Third, Cody Lamas. Fourth, Colin Phillips. Fifth, James Shelley. Sixth is Jonathan Zorling. Seventh, Alex Drayton. Eighth is Dylan Jacobs. Ninth, Charles Sanford. 10th, Jake Rogers. 11th, Kyle Matthews. 12th, Jay Jefferson. 13th, Trent Dunham. 14th, Jake Baskinger. 15th, Diego Yepez. 16th, James McLeod. 17th, Matt McIntyre. 18th, Dylan Poteet. 19th, Emmanuel Hardinet. 20th, Anthony McCrory. 21st, Chris Dollarton. 22nd, Joshua Collard. 23rd, Joshua Sekuli. 24th, Preston Plord. And then 25th is Benjamin Miles. And that's going to be all the field I can go through for now, because we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing with 34 laps to go. Still a long, long way to go, and still capable of seeing a really good race. But James Qualls got off to a very good jump on that restart and has a bit of a gap right now. And Colin Phillips, despite some rear end damage, he's still competitive up here at the front. So still got a solid run going for that rookie in the 00. And Qualls, who is one of the few home state boys in this race, right now in the lead, and he's trying to go for his second win of the season? Yeah, his second win, and try to get some more confidence back after he fell to 20th in points after last week at Daytona. And he's having a solid, strong performance right now here in the early going. But look at Kyle Matthews, the pole sitter. He was 11th on the restart, and now he's found himself up here in second and is trying to get to his teammate James Qualls for the race lead, as we're now starting to get back to the kind of racing we saw at the beginning where it's double the 3 wide all over, unless you're a slow car like some of them in the back. Bud Matthews has the lead for now, but look at Diego Yepez, the rookie in the number 10. He's going to take the race lead. And he led at the line, so good job for the 10 to get to that spot. Meanwhile, look at James McLeod. Now, McLeod is definitely going to be a guy to keep an eye out for today, because he came into this race 11 points behind 10th, which is the cutoff for the chase this season. And right now, he would be in good hands to maybe get back in there, although here comes Emmanuel Hartnett with a run to the inside. And hard to tell who led there, but it looked like it was Hartnett. So close at the line, but Hartnett got the lead. And look at James Shelley, who was one of the big losers in the point standings after last week at Daytona. He's trying to rebound and get back higher in the points. And now I see 4 wide, which won't be a big deal unless they're leaning. And still 4 wide. But they're keeping it together. Now it settles out the 3 wide. So good racing on the part of those guys. Let's take a look and see if there's any traffic up ahead of them. And not really quite yet. Tim Fiegel right now, the slowest car on the track. And then you got Shelton and Hoffman racing it. Although maybe not. Maybe Fiegel isn't the slowest. Maybe he was just back there because of slower cars, and he just couldn't get back up to the front. Speaking of up at the front, Hartnett still leads, but you got a couple of new contenders, Alex Strait and Cody Lamas, trying to work their way into the picture. As I'm taking a look and seeing how they're driving speed-wise, almost 200 miles an hour going into turn 1. And slowing down to only 192, so doesn't look like they're using any brakes. They're just on the gas all the time. Although maybe they're playing with the gas. And I experienced a little microphone issue. But yeah, they're just playing with the gas as opposed to using the brakes to make the corners. And now we got the slow cars right there on the backstretch. And I got a feeling that here in about 2, maybe 3 laps, these leaders are going to catch those slower cars, and then things are going to get really clustered up here at the front. And Hartnett's still hanging on somehow, some way. And we got a battle for second, 3-wide battle for second between Matthews, Jacobs, and McLeod. But McLeod is going to get the advantage running the lower line. As it looks like everybody on back to Colin Phillips, which is back to 22nd, are the ones that are more likely going to be able to race it out for the win. Unless a quick caution were to come out, and then all of a sudden you get guys like Dylan Young back up into the picture or something like that. Matt McIntyre now up here in the second, and they have caught lap traffic. Let's see how these leaders are going to maneuver around it all. And, oh, almost got into Shelton right there, did the 20. And now Paul Minnick slowing them up. As things are getting rather scattered up here at the front because of these slower cars, like the 99 and the 02. And now as a result, Diego Yepez actually now has the race lead, and they've got 2 more, maybe 3 more cars to catch up to soon. Smith, Fiegel, and LeDuc. And then back here, still got a few cars within reach of each other. And then you got this little pack of cars led by Dylan Thoreau, which is from, I want to say, 23rd. 23rd on back to 29th are still racing it out. As now the front of the field is really scattered as a result of lap traffic. And there's still more to come. But Diego Yepez still leads as we are a lap away from halfway here at Kentucky. But now we got a new leader coming into the picture. Jonathan Zorline in the 88 now takes over as Yepez gets held up by Tim Fiegel. And now they got Rafael Leduc approaching, and it's side by side. Matt McIntyre actually led that lap as he somehow got a run. And now he's going to take the lead and start to pull away a little bit from the 88 of Zorline. So that almost does it for lap traffic for now, but I don't know. We still got quite a few slower cars up here on the front stretch, and the leaders are just now getting to the front stretch and to the start-finish line. 19 to go here in the Quaker State 400. And like I said, the field is very much scattered as a result of lap traffic being in the way of the drivers up here at the front. But look at the points leader. Joshua Collard's up here in third. Man, this guy, he's just been able to maneuver around traffic very well for a majority of the races this season. If he can come through with a top 10 today, he'll be the first to reach double-digit top 10 numbers this season. And this is only race 19. And now he's about to try and take second away. Although what Collard really wants is to get his first win of the season. Despite being very consistent all season long, he has not been able to pull off a win. But maybe, I don't know, here comes Charles Sanford, who was involved in that first caution. He's still up to speed, and now he's up here to second. Jake Rogers, who actually got a little more damage in that wreck than Sanford, but he's even still up to speed and is now taking second away from Sanford. Now the field, the front drivers are starting to bunch back up again, so we'll see how things play out as I see other contenders from early on. Whoa, there they go! Oh, a hard, vicious crash! Oh my goodness, and we got a flipper, and that's Sanford! Hard wreck. Caution immediately out. Oh man, I'm still trying to keep an eye out on... Oh, watch out for the 87. Good job. But a hard wreck has just brought out the caution again. And there you see all the smoke, and I saw Charles Sanford take a wild ride. But Matt McIntyre still hangs on to the race lead. But let's see if these drivers are going to come into pit road, because I was about to speculate when these drivers would have to come into pit road. And here they all come. Looking out for anybody that's going to stay out. No, looks like everyone is coming into pit road, which is good. But we're going to stay on the pit lane 1 camera, or at least I'm trying to. There we are. Let's see who comes out first. It's going to be kind of hard to tell until they start getting closer up here. But from my estimation, it looks like it's still going to be Matt McIntyre with the lead. So it looks like it's going to be McIntyre, Hartnett, Shelley, Drayton, and Lamas will be your top 5 when we get back to racing. But let's go ahead and take a look and see what brought the caution out for the second time today here at Kentucky. So here's a look at what happened. So it looks like Jonathan Zorline tries to make it 4 wide, but he ends up getting into the left rear quarter panel of Jay Jefferson, and they come down into Diego Yepez, and then Zorline gets loose and collects Charles Sanford, and they both hit the outside wall a ton, and then a hard hit into the concrete for Jay Jefferson on the driver's side, and then that hit right there from Jake Baskinger is what sends the 03 barrel rolling, and then as the 18 comes down, gets into Colin Phillips, and Phillips actually, Phillips hit the 18 hard, and the 18 hit the inside wall. very, very hard. As let's actually go to helicopter camera and watch all of this unfold. And Poteet actually gets the inside wall. Hard hit right there. And then another hard hit. And Fiegel, that was the hit from Fiegel that would send the 03 flipping even more wildly than the traditional barrel rolls that we see. But let's actually go back and count the amount of flips the 03 took in this wreck. Alright, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4 times it looks like. Yeah, 4 times he ended up flipping, but it was still a wild ride. Anthony McCurry, who I had no idea actually got involved, he was in there. And Jay Jefferson just continues to take hard hits afterwards. He had to have taken like 2 really good hits on both sides of the race car, especially the driver's side when he came back up and slammed it into the concrete portion of the wall and not the safer barrier. But let's go ahead and take you to the restart once again here at Kentucky. So 5 drivers out of the race, and they're going to be the bottom 5 who won't be getting points. And they include Jonathan Zorline, Charles Sanford, Jake Baskinger, Colin Phillips, and Tim Fiegel. Once again, bad race for him. But we got 5 cars a lap down, so it's going to really make this restart interesting to see how the lead lap cars are going to be able to maneuver around the slower, damaged race cars. But after the pit stops under caution, Matt McIntyre still hangs on to the race lead. Second, Emmanuel Hartnett. Third, James Shelley. Fourth, Alex Drayton. Fifth, Cody Lamas. Sixth is Jake Rogers. Seventh, Kyle Matthews. Eighth, Dylan Jacobs. Ninth, James McLeod. 10th, Trent Dunham. 11th, Chris Dollerton. 12th, James Qualls. 13th, Joshua Collard. 14th, Dylan Thoreau. 15th, Benjamin Miles. 16th, Preston Plord. 17th, Dougie Shears. 18th, Jay Jefferson. 19th, Dylan Poteet. 20th, Ryan Butcher. 21st, Sean Galligan. 22nd, DJ Curtis. 23rd, Dylan Young. 24th, Colin Francis. 25th, Carson Gum. Then Zachary Fitzwater, Diego Yepes, Joshua Sekuli, Seth Cole, and Anthony McCurry, with the 5 lap down cars being Rafael LeDuc, Patrick Smith, Ethan Hoffman, Jessica Sheldon, Paul Minnick. And we're back underway, 11 laps to go here at Kentucky. But I'm going to stay with these guys back here, Shelton and Hoffman, and see how they're going to maneuver around the faster race cars. Although LeDuc, it looks like he's trying to hold his own and try and get back onto the lead lap, but now he's going to end up slipping. But now the front of the field's starting to get scattered as a result, but Dylan Young went back into pit road. I gotta wonder if he didn't get enough gas in his car. That, or he got held up and couldn't pit at all, which could have been a case right there. But side by side for the lead between Alex Drayton and James Shelley. 3 wide for the lead as Hartnett's trying to work the middle line to try and gain some ground. So as the faster race cars are still trying to maneuver around the slower, damaged lap down cars, the field's starting to get scattered even further as a result. Looks like all the drivers on back to Jake Rogers, who are racing on the lead lap, are still going to be able to potentially race for the win. And right there at the line, Cody Lamas used the apron to take the lead and lead that lap, and he still got this position. And now we're seeing some new contenders come back up here. McLeod being one of them, Dylan Jacobs, Kyle Matthews trying to work his way. And now early leader Manuel Hartnett trying to take the lead back, and he has that spot for now and leads at the line. 7 to go here at Kentucky. Dylan Jacobs, though, who's trying to take the points lead over, he's up here in second and now is going to go to the inside to try and take the lead. But I think either way, Jacobs will definitely get second in points going into next week's race, because Carson Gum, he's been struggling all day in damage and last time scored in 22nd. But now affiliate teammate of Jacobs, James Shelley, now has the race lead. And like I said earlier, James Shelley is looking to rebound after Daytona last week, but you got James McLeod, who's trying to get back into the top 10 in points. He now takes the lead. But Cody Lamas again using the apron to try and get a bigger run. And there they go again. Oh, a crazy wreck. Shelley into the catch fence. And he's stuck in the catch fence. Caution's out again. Dylan Jacobs, I saw, was in there. I know there was another car in that mess. Caution comes out as we're coming to the line for 4 to go. I don't know. We may get a one-lap shootout potentially. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what NNSCRA officials are going to do. We might get a one-lap shootout, or the race has just ended under caution. And it was Lamas who led at the line. But real quick, let's take a look and see what brought the caution out for the 3rd time today here at Kentucky. Well, here's a look at what happened. So this starts just as soon as they get across the start-finish line there. Jake Rogers going even lower on the apron than what Cody Lamas was running. And then as he gets back onto the racetrack, he tries to get clear of Kyle Matthews, but wasn't quite there. Just didn't have enough room. Comes up in the Matthews, and Jacobs gets into it. And then right there, the contact from both Jacobs and Rogers is what sends the 71 into the catch fence. As he grinded on the catch fence for a little bit, ends up getting stuck and is dangling right there, which is really, really scary. But just took away quite a few drivers' chances of potentially getting a win here today. But now let's go ahead and take you to where we're going to be at, if we're going to be able to get a one-lap shootout, or is the race going to end under caution. Well, the race is going to end under caution as a result of everything that just transpired. And lucky break for Cody Lamas, he made that move when he did. And so, because of everything that just transpired, the race is over, and we're coming to take the checkered flag. Cody Lamas gets his 2nd win of the season. He wins the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky Speedway. He made the right move at the right time, just as that caution came out, held him off, and managed to maintain the lead and win. So congratulations to the number 48 team for getting his 2nd win of the season. But let's look at the rest of the results. James McLeod's definitely going to be smiling after this, as he's going to find himself potentially back into the top 10 in points going into the next race. Excuse me, I had the hiccups there. Anyways, Matt McIntyre comes through with a 3rd place finish. Alex Drayton 4th with a solid performance there. And then Kyle Matthews with a great run in the 5th spot. Emmanuel Hardinet finishing out in 6th. Points leader, more likely going to stay the points leader. Joshua Collard finishes in 7th. Trent Dunham rounds out the 8th spot. Dougie Shears with a great run in 9th. And then highest finishing rookie, Diego Yepez, in the 10th spot. Then there's the rest of your top 20. The rest of the lead lap cars, everyone else that finished was a lap or more down. And then the rest of the drivers that were out. And the lucky one was Shelley, gets 35th and will still get points, but everybody else did not as a result of that 2nd caution. But thank you guys for watching the Quaker State 400 at Kentucky Speedway. I'm not sure where we're heading to next week, but until then, here are your results, rookie points and regular points heading into next week. And this is Levi McIntyre signing off.